This video is going to be more Fieldcraft. It's going to be ambush site selection. Now, I have done a lot of videos on ambushes in the past, different types of techniques, that type of stuff, layouts and that type of thing. You can find them over on BitChute, YouTube. They'll get reloaded sooner or later here. I'm still working on doing re-uploads. But it occurred to me, I don't think I ever did a video on selecting sites for an ambush. Now, this came to me on a recent trip that I had to do. On the way to my end point, I had to pass through a lot of flat, wide open farmland, which, considering the time of year, it's being harvested right now. So there isn't much of any crops left out there. Now, doctrinally, that would tell you that you don't have to worry too much about those areas. It's not likely there's going to be an ambush there. You're taught in the military that really there's a set criteria for where an ambush should go. And where an ambush should go is a location where your target has to slow down or gets congested. And then that is the most likely place that you should put in an ambush to get the most effect. But really, that criteria doesn't really work anymore if you think about it. Now, with training for going overseas, you get taught, reviewed on the likely locations where an ambush could be at, like around a curve. Or you have to slow down, or you start slowing down because you're going up a hill. Or you're going into an area where the road starts to narrow. Where you're going from, say, 2 lanes side by side going the same direction, maybe down to 1 lane going each direction side by side. Or potentially so tight it's just 1 lane going through. Those would be areas that you would have to be in the most danger in. So what ends up happening, that convoy becomes laser focused on those danger areas. They become extra paranoid, extra alert. They concentrate on that danger area. In this little scenario here, we got a curve in the road. The danger areas are up here. They're going to be concentrating on this. They're going to be checking everything up here thoroughly. They're going to be looking for movement. They're going to be looking for weapons indications, barrels sticking out, that type of thing. They're going to be looking for camouflage that doesn't fit in. There's too much of it, not enough of it. You know, something that trips that paranoia, saying something's not right. They're going to be looking up here for indicators for mines or IEDs on the side of the road or in the road. If it's a paved road, they're going to be looking up here for any road repairs that don't make sense, that don't fit in. Like a dirt-covered hole in the middle of the road could be an indicator of an IED or a landmine in the road. They're going to be looking for culverts that are going across the roadway. Those culverts could potentially have artillery shells shoved inside them or bulk containers of explosives underneath the road. They're going to be laser focused looking for all that. And while that's going on, that convoy has a tendency to lose their situational awareness. They're not paying as much attention to their right and left. They're focused on what's up here, trying to get every indicator to let them know, is their enemy there? Or is that area wide open? Are they okay? So it occurred to me on that drive that wide open stretch of highway would make a very good ambush site, wouldn't it? Because the enemy would not be expecting an ambush in that location because it doesn't meet established doctrine or set doctrine for where an ambush should be at. So we got our enemy here, and we'll call them United Nations Protection Force, the UNPRO-4. They're out conducting a convoy on an American highway. They got a security vehicle out in front. A little bit farther back is the bulk of the convoy, and then they're going to have their security in the back also. They're coming up on that danger area. These guys might pull a little bit farther ahead from the rest of the convoy, just a little bit. And they're going to be focusing up here. They're not going to be paying attention out here. So how could we hit that convoy? Well, one thing we could do, put in a series of 1-man or 2-man spider holes spaced out. The security vehicle, he's focused up here. He drives past, he may not notice them. Well, when that lead vehicle, the convoy, gets up here to the end of your ambush, he's the one that initiates the ambush. He sets off a hidden IED, or he pops out with that captured RPG-7 launcher, or that American AT-4 anti-tank rocket that we got from the National Guard before they cleared out of the area. Whatever it may be, that lead vehicle gets up here, he sees it through his little vision slit that he's got set. As soon as he gets up here or he's getting close, he pops open, he tosses the lid off his spider hole, he fires off his weapon. He disables the vehicle up in here. As soon as he fires his stuff off, these guys hear that whoosh of the anti-tank rocket, they hear the explosion of the IED, or the opening up of the machine gun, whatever the hell it is. These guys throw off the covers of their spider holes and they start engaging the convoy also. That's when they go through, they start doing their priorities for targets. Take out the gunner, take out the driver, take out the TC who's got that radio, take out the people in back that had their weapons. If it's an ambush, you're trying to completely destroy the target, you destroy the vehicles. If you're trying to get supplies, prisoners, you disable the vehicles. And you go through and you do your SOPs on that. Learn your enemy's TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures, and exploit them. Use them against them. Figure out what their SOPs are, their standard operating procedures. How do they react to different situations? And exploit it. Use it against them. Now, I read this recently, a tactic that was employed by the Mahdi army. Not to the greatest effect, but it still caused a lot of problems. Their ambushes in Sadr City, well, they could be a mile long or more. And they would break up their ambushes into individual groups. Have a team that's on this side of the road, another team that's on this side of the road, and then alternating back and forth going down the length of the ambush. Now, why would they do that? It's really simple. When you get into an ambush, everyone gets keyed up. And everyone automatically always focuses in the direction the fire is coming from, and they completely ignore their backside where no fire is coming from because they think that's safe. They think the ambush is only on that one side. So these guys are firing here, they're moving ahead, they think they're out of the ambush, they're focusing over here, seeing if there's any more laid out up in here. Well, then that's when these guys open up, hit them from the other side that they're not suspecting. And they would alternate like that going all the way down the roadway. And then just for fun once in a while, maybe if there was tall enough buildings, they'd get hit from both sides. Because he'd have the people up on the roofs, maybe up on that second floor of a building. Keep the enemy guessing. Throw them off. Always try to hit them from behind. It's easier to shoot a person in the back in the ambush than when they're facing at you. Why? Because he's facing at you, he can shoot you too. You got to make sure you're faster than him. But if his back is facing towards you, you got an easier target. You don't fight fair in an ambush. Keep your enemy guessing. Exploit their weaknesses. Tunnel vision will get you killed in an ambush. And I used to chew people out for that repeatedly when I did Op 4 duty training people for going overseas. Because I seen that over and over and over again. Even when I was going through the lanes on the stuff. I would chew my people out. We get into an ambush and everybody focus the direction on that ambush. I would chew people out, remind them, stay focused on your sector of fire. Fire may be coming from this side, but you still got to keep watching on the back side. Why? Because the Iraqis were real good at having an ambush laid out on one side of the road. Everyone's focusing over there. He had a few people on the other side armed with RPGs, armed with sniper rifles. You start taking fire from this side and you may not even notice it because all the fire from over here. And they're picking your people off. Knocking out the vehicles from a direction they weren't expecting because they weren't paying attention in that direction. The gunner goes down. Well, why'd he go down? We had a gun shield. That's protecting him the direction the fire is coming from. And then he gets shot in the back, not knowing there was a sniper on the other side. They did end up improving the gun shields and all that stuff on the Humvees and gun trucks because of that. Learn your enemy's weaknesses. Learn their TTPs, their SOPs, and figure out ways to use them to your advantage. And always remember, switch up your tactics. Don't always hit your enemy in the exact same type of location over and over again. Switch it up. Keep them guessing. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot militia movements, always remember, essayons.